What's going on, y'all? So, someone emailed me and wanted me to give them tips for reducing headphone bleed when tracking vocals. So, I decided to do a video for it. Let me give you 3 tips on how to reduce headphone bleed when tracking vocals. So, let's first look at what headphone bleed is. Headphone bleed is the music in the headphones coming out of the headphones and back into the microphone, with the microphone picking that up. A lot of times you're tracking vocals with a condenser microphone, which is really sensitive, and it's going to pick up a lot of detail. And if the headphones are too loud, then it will pick that up. Now, you don't want headphone bleed because it will mess up a vocal take. So the first tip is to make sure that the music is not too loud in the headphones. When someone says, turn me up in the headphones, find out if they want to hear more of the music or do they want to hear more of themselves. Because if you go and turn them up in the headphones, you're turning up the music as well as their voice, and it's going to come out of the headphones back into the microphone. A lot of times when someone tells me to turn them up in the headphone, I'm going to ask, what do you want to hear more of? If they want to hear more of themselves, then instead of turning their mic up more, I'm going to turn down the music. Turning down the music will make them louder, and I'm not increasing any more gain into the headphones. And the same way around, if they're hearing too much of the music, like I said, you just want to make sure that you're keeping the music not so loud that it's going back into the headphones. And I always check this when I'm getting levels. When I'm checking levels and getting the level right with my mic pre, I'm recording a few takes and checking to see if I've got any headphone bleed there. Therefore, when I'm ready to uh, record for real and track the vocal, I'll make sure I'm not getting any headphone bleed at that time. The second tip is what you're looking at here. I'm a huge fan of AKG microphones. I'm sorry, AKG headphones, and you want to make sure that you're using the proper headphones for tracking. There's different types of headphones. I've got 4 different pair of AKG headphones that I own here, and we'll look at each one. We're going to start with the K44, which is, let's see if we can get that there, semi-closed. You want to make sure that you're using a closed back headphones when you're tracking vocals. Closed back headphones keeps the sound in. If it says open, that means that it lets the sound out, which of course you don't want. This is the M80, and you can see, there we go, over ear semi-closed design. Anything that says closed is what you want to use for tracking vocals. K99s, you see these are semi-open, so that's not something that we would want to use for tracking. Same with the K240s here. Let's find where it is. There it is. Semi-open. So make sure that the headphones that you're using are closed. You've got closed back, you've got open back, and then you've got semi. Just make sure it says closed, therefore you're keeping all of the sound in, and that will help reduce headphone bleed. One more tip to show you. We're going to switch to Studio One to show this. Okay, so I've got Studio One up here, and I'll give you my third tip for reducing headphone bleed. So I've got the 2-track here, which is the first track in the session, and a lot of times when you're recording rap vocals, you record them to a 2-track mix before you get the WAV files for mixing. So what I do sometimes, and this is a not a mandatory thing, is if it is needed. A lot of times that low frequency, the bass, a lot of hip hop tracks have 808s in them. If that bass is really hitting hard, it can also be too loud to come out of the headphones back into the microphone. So what I do, I'll take an EQ and set it to shelf and just cut some of that low end out of the track. That will reduce the low end in the track, which will reduce the low end energy coming out of the headphones back into the microphone. So that is the third tip. So we've got one, make sure that you're not monitoring too loud in the headphones. Two, make sure you're using the right headphones. And three, if needed, you can use a low shelf on an EQ to pull out some of that low end energy. So that's 3 tips on reducing headphone bleed. All right, I'll catch y'all next time.